2018, and I was blessed enough to be elected, the first Democrat ever elected to Simi Valley City Council, the first woman of color on Simi Valley City Council, and these 3 years have been quick, but they have been arduous and well worth it in every aspect, to be able to represent my community, to be able to fight for those who haven't had a voice in City Council, and to continue that fight every single day has just been a privilege to be a public servant and to redefine what a public servant is, because how many of our elected officials don't know what a public servant is, which is to serve the public. That is what our job is. Our job is to serve the public, the people that we were elected by, and even those we weren't elected by. It is our job to represent them, to represent their voices, to make sure that they're heard. So when we passed, and I requested the LGBTQ Pride Proclamation 3 years ago, and this month, and I said that was wonderful. I'm glad we have the LGBTQ Pride Proclamation, but I asked a couple weeks ago to put action behind those words. It's one thing to have words on paper, it's another thing to actually be an advocate, and I wanted us to put action behind those words. So I asked if we could fly the Pride flag like every other city in Ventura County is flying right now, like the capital is in Sacramento, like Ventura County is at the Ventura County Municipal Center. I asked if we could fly a pride flag here in Simi Valley, and I was met with utter silence. Not one person. I offered to pay for the flag. Nothing. Words have to mean something. You have to put actions behind those words. It is not enough to give a proclamation of Juneteenth or of Black Lives Matter or of LGBTQ pride or for our veterans if we're not willing to provide housing, if we're not willing to provide health care, if we're not willing to provide support, if we're not willing to advocate actively for the communities that have been disenfranchised in Simi Valley and throughout Ventura County and throughout California and throughout this country. That is our job, that is our responsibility, because we are here again to serve the public. We are public servants. And for those of you that have had the courage to come and engage, to give your public comments in Simi Valley City Council, to write letters to the editor, to make sure that you are on social media and bringing light to the issues that are impacting our community, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. That is my job, is to get you civically engaged. I'm a social studies teacher. I've been doing this for 21 years, and I will continue to do so that every generation knows that we are going to continue to fight for them, because I don't want any more lockdown generations. I don't want that to be my children. I don't want my children to have to worry about when the electricity is going to come out. My children are trained now on what to do when the power goes out, because that's how often they've had to deal with the impact of climate change. And being on the board of directors for the Clean Power Alliance, I have been fighting and advocating actively to address the issues of climate change by making sure that we have renewable energy sources, by making sure that we are guiding our children into those renewable energy jobs, of which there are thousands and thousands of jobs available and a need for, so that our kids don't have to deal with 113-degree weather, so that our kids don't have to be trained in what to do when the power goes out. We just heard the helicopters 5 minutes ago, didn't we? With SoCal Edison out here checking the power lines. Why? Because we haven't dealt with the issue of climate change. But our children are feeling the impact of it. Our parents are dealing with the impact of it. We're dealing with the impact of it. So we have to continue to fight and effectuate change through our actions, not just our words. And I'm going to continue to do that. In case you haven't heard, I am running for Congress in California's 25th Congressional District. And I'm really excited about bringing that change and effectuating that change and bringing the advocacy that I've been doing here in Simi Valley and will continue to do so at the federal level. Everyone knows that I have been a huge proponent of immigrants. It was SB 54 that brought me to City Council, where my son was told that when the buses came to deport the Mexicans, he was going to be the first one deported. I didn't take lightly to that. That's my son. You don't threaten my child. You don't threaten anybody's child. And it was the community that came together that night and said, no, we don't know this child, but this is somebody's child. And we're going to stand up, literally, and defend him, because no one here should feel that way. No one should be threatened for existing, whether they're brown, whether they're Asian, whether they're black, whether they're LGBTQ, whether they're a black trans, whether they're a pregnant teenager. No one here should feel as less than for existing. And that's what this campaign is about. This is why I'm running, and this is why I continue to be in office and fight the good fight. And I will continue to fight the good fight, even if I'm the only voice. And even if my voice shakes, I'm still going to use my voice. That's my responsibility, and I take that seriously. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for having my back. I really appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of the picnic. And thank you, Moore Park, for being here. It's amazing to see so many wonderful faces. And I'll be around for a little bit if you want to talk to me. Thank you very much.